Welcome back to Living with a Classic, and I'm out driving in my 1991 Daimler XJ40, and it's full-on summer here. Really nice weather, complete blue skies, nice and warm. However, I am wishing I had working air conditioning at the moment. It's one of those things you can fix on this car. Even my camera right now warned me that it was overheating and it was shutting down the screen, so I'm hoping it will keep filming. But as you may know, I took a little bit of break from working on cars and filming for about half a week, or almost close to a week, to spend some time with family. And I'm sorry you guys missed the video, but it's not very often I take a break from working on cars and filming, and it felt like a nice break. Spend some time with family I haven't seen for a very long time. Enjoy this nice weather, and we celebrated midsummer here in Sweden. But I am now back to working on the cars, but I don't have a video ready for you guys on tinkering things, which will come very shortly. But I want to talk about a milestone today, so it'll be more of a driving sort of vlog video. But when you guys are watching this, if you're watching it when it comes out on Wednesday, it will be exactly 10 years since I got my first classic Jag, which was a 1979 XJ6 in Westminster blue. It had been repainted. It wasn't the greatest shape, but it made the trip home. But we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a little bit. So why do I know exactly the day that I got that car? It's not going to have magic memory or something like that. It's because it was on my 20th birthday, which means I am about to turn 30. This is my last day of my 20s, and wow, people really aren't sticking to their side of the road here. Let's see, we got a big truck here. I'll be back in right 1 second. And that was just a big truck I had to stop for there. But getting back to the whole thing, I said that this is the last day of my 20s, which means that, of course, the last couple weeks or so I've done a little bit of contemplating of what I've sort of done. Alright, let's try that again. I tried to restart the camera several times, but it kept giving me a message about overheating, and kind of gave me one right now. It's just shutting down the LCD, but it gave me another message that it would just shut down the whole camera. I guess I didn't like being left in the sun on a hot day, or in the car on a hot day, and now being placed where it got direct sunlight on the road. So I drove over here to a nice spot where I usually stop on the way home. It's very, very peaceful here. I don't know if I'm quiet. Maybe you guys can actually hear the wildlife and the birds. I'm not sure if you can pick it up, but it's a very nice place to be, pretty close to my house in the shadow. So let's try this again. But kind of ironic that on a very hot day, the old British car is doing fine, not overheating at all. But the pretty much brand new camera is overheating. This DJI Osmo Action is a great camera. I'm very happy that I purchased it. It's really good for using in the car like this, talking and driving. And this is the first time I had issues with it, so I'm hoping that it's just because it was very, very hot. But back to 10 years of classic Jaguar ownership. So the last couple of weeks, because I'm turning 30, I've been thinking about what have I done in my 20s. I think it's normal, or for some people at least, to sort of think back what's been going on. Well, a lot has been going on. Went to university. I met my wife a little bit after that, or during that. Got married. We have one daughter, and we have another child on the way who can be here any week now, which is very exciting. And we bought a farm together, and we have a life together. So a lot of things like that happen, jobs and things. But what has been consistent during those 10 years is my love for classic Jaguars. I picked up my first one on my 20th birthday. I traded my first car. It was a 1985 Alfa Romeo Spider car I absolutely loved. However, it was time for something different. I had that since I got my license, and then so pretty much 2 years, and I felt like it was time for a four-seater car that was like the XJ6. I thought they were brilliant cars and really good looking, especially Series 2. So I picked up that 1979 Series 2. It was repainted in Westminster blue. I think originally it was one of those olive green cars. Had a pretty shot interior, and but it ran pretty well. Needed a carb setup and some other things, but the engine was pretty strong, and I made a 3-hour drive home, which is just completely mind-boggling that actually later when I went through the cars and found all the bad stuff in it, it's amazing it drove home. Did actually leave me stranded a couple of days later. I went to actually pick up my mom at the airport because I thought it'd be fun. I hadn't seen her for a while, and she was coming into the country, and I thought, you know what, let's take the my new Jag and then we go out to dinner. However, I conked out on the way there on the highway, and I was living in the Netherlands at the time, so it's a big highway, between The Hague and Amsterdam, so I was going Schiphol. And I thought, okay, maybe it's just some bad gas. I pulled into, got to restart, pulled into the next service station, filled up with gas, and then I drove on. And then right as I turned into the airport, where there's sort of the, just a pickup place where you can't park and where all the cabs are and everything, this thing completely conks out and will not restart. Fuel pump is dead. I only have one of the tanks active. So there I am pushing a very heavy Jag to the side on a Friday afternoon or Friday evening at like 6:30 with angry cab drivers just honking their horn at me. So that ended up being a quite an expensive trip to the airport, having to get that thing towed home, but we had some fun with it anyways. While waiting for the tow truck, we went inside and got some takeaway from the airport and sat and waited. And it was still fun, but not really what I had planned. And then that was my only car. Luckily, I didn't actually need a car all the time. If I needed it, I was still living at home at the time, so if I needed to borrow a car, I could borrow one of my parents' cars, or I could take the bus and everything like that. However, I moved back to Sweden a little bit later, and I took that car with me, and that was a brilliant drive. I drove from the night non-stop from Netherlands to the south of Sweden. It's about 900 kilometers or so, and I drove it in the middle of summer, and it was right sort of when there was some sort of tournament in Germany, so I didn't want to drive during the day to get stuck on the highway with this thing. So I drove all through the night, and it was excellent. Did not miss a beat. A lot of fun, good cassettes with me, and that was a great experience. Then I drove that car as a second car, as an enthusiast car here in Sweden, and really enjoyed it. But it was a little rough around the edges, but I still loved that car. Camera's still overheating, so I've moved it out the window. Hopefully that's gonna help. Otherwise, I don't know what to do. I'll have to film this later tonight or something, but I want to get this done now. So we had, where was I? Oh yeah, so I sold the 1979 XJ6, the one I drove to Sweden, when I got the XJ12, the white one I still have today. So when that thing came out to sale, I went and had a look at it. I really wanted the car, so the same day I decided that I wanted it. I put my car up for sale, sold pretty quickly, thankfully, and then I picked up the other one. Spent a year and a half restoring that as a university student, which we've talked about before, everything done to that car, and really I've just enjoyed it ever since. And for a couple of years there, that was my my only classic car. The first trip my wife and I took together a weekend away was in that car, and I've had a lot of fun times with that car, going to car shows. There's a lot of sentimental attachment to that one, hence I had the video a while ago talking about why I would never want to get rid of specifically that car, and why it might not be the best condition car I have, but it means the world to me. Then fast forward a couple of years, and my dad and I decided to have a father-son project, so we picked up the S-Type that you see on the channel. However, things sort of changed, and we don't live that close to each other anymore, so that's why that was put off for a little bit, and that's why I'm working on it now and restoring it, and hopefully getting it back together at some point so that we can at least enjoy it together as a father and son, even though we probably wouldn't have built the car together as a father and son. And then we have the channel, which started like 2.5 years ago now, and I guess when that happened, I really did accelerate. It's okay to have more cars, and I encourage you guys, get more cars. It's fun, trust me. And so that I got the 99 S-Type Jag, which was my daily driver. Then I got rid of the Volvo, and when not that long after that, a couple months later, I got the the XJ6, the green XJ6 Series 2, and then we restored that on the channel. And then when that was on the road, I sold the S-Type, and just about pretty much a couple days after that, the owner of this car contacted me, the Daimler, and I went and had a look at it, bought it. So it was a pretty intense time there of getting cars on the channel, which means that, you know, maybe it's time for another one soon, who knows. So what have I really learned from my love for classic Jags? That if you want a classic car that's sort of a lot of bang for your bucks, that's the biggest thing that 10 years of classic Jag ownership has taught me. That if you want a car with leather, with air conditioning, with comfort, with, you know, a lot of things, pretty easy to get parts on, it is a lot of bang for your bucks. There's still a lot of models of old Jags which are not very expensive at all, especially the XJ40 here. That's a lot of car for the money. XJ6s are still like pretty cheap, especially if you're willing to do some work on them, if they've been sitting for a bit, or just, you know, willing to do some work, especially, you know, headliners and things. Just fix that yourself. You have a very, very nice car. But since my 20s have been all about classic Jags, I'm wondering, what will my 30s be like? Maybe, I think I will still, of course, have a lot of classic Jags. I don't want to sell anything I own at the moment. I do like them all in their own little way, and I'm trying my best to keep all these cars working and on the road, and to make videos for you guys. I think that maybe in my 30s it's time to also try a new brand. Maybe branch out a little bit. Not sure what I want to try out, but maybe something else that's British, or I don't know, maybe something French, going back to Italian, maybe something American. I never had an American car. I don't know. So what I really want to ask you guys is, do you remember the first Jag you have, if you own one? What was your first one? I'd like to know that in the comments down below. That would be really fun to know. And also knowing if maybe you have a couple cars in your collection, and maybe one of them is a Jag and the other ones are other ones. I'd love to know what that is. Maybe you have a Triumph Spitfire, or a Morris Minor, or maybe you have an Alpha, or I don't know, maybe a Citroen. Citroens are very cool. I do like how quirky they are. So let me know that in the comments down below. I'd love to know the kind of cars you have, what the first Jag was that you had, and also what other cars you have outside Jags, because I have thought about it a little bit, and I think it's time, you know, not exactly right now, but sometime in the future, to try a different marque and see if I like that. You know, life's too short to just maybe have one thing, maybe try some different things. But the last 10 years have definitely been all about classic Jags. Anyways, I think that will wrap up for today's video. Just a little bit of a vlog here, also because it's too hot to do anything else. And you know, let's shut this down before the camera overheats again. Anyways, if you liked this video, please give a thumbs up, share it with your friends. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel, especially because it's just my birthday. That would really mean a lot. Anyways, until next time, I'm Adam, and this was Living with a Classic. I'll see you soon.